Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your hosts, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. This is more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of the Real Smoke Podcast. I'm Charles, and with me, as always, is the best beard in Memphis. What's up, brother?
What's up, homie? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. It's pod day, man. It's pod day. I'm doing great.
Yeah, man. I'm excited, too. Got a great guest tonight, smoking a great cigar on a Thursday evening. Can't go wrong.
Oh, yeah. It is definitely going to be a good one. I have not got to meet this guest, and this is a rare thing that I haven't got to meet one of the guests that we've had on here. So I am 100% stoked about finding out about this young lady. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. So first off, how was your weekend, man?
Man, my weekend was good. I appreciate the preface there. Got to go to a comedy show downtown on Saturday night. And then Sunday, I got to see one of my favorite bands of all time. And most people listening probably have no clue who I'm about to say. But Jackal. I didn't even know they were touring anymore. Yeah, didn't even know they were touring anymore. Got to see them at Minglewood Hall, kind of a classic establishment in the Memphis area. And it was outstanding, man. They put on one hell of a show. And we were just, me and the wife had an amazing time. So, yeah, no complaints there. It was a great weekend.
Awesome. So what you said you went and saw somebody else? Who'd you go see?
Well, one of our buddies wanted to go see Cat Timph, and
nice.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show. Comedy and politics don't always match, but it was a good show. It was a good show.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But
Agreed.
You know, if you have a good comedian that can do it the right way, it's always an exciting time. So some of those shows are really good. I've watched some of her stuff before, so I enjoy it. Yeah,
she definitely had a way of it. It wasn't all political. It was definitely a lot of her life and some of the struggles she's had, but it was with a comedic twist, and it was definitely well worth going to. So definitely a good time.
Awesome. Well, I watched all the pictures that you were posting and realized I was extremely jealous because you had a rocking weekend. But at the same time, I got to sit back and relax this weekend, which that doesn't happen too often because my next few weekends are extremely packed. I will be gone every weekend for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So it was really good to be able to sit back and absolutely do nothing and watch a little football. Except, you know, I did get to watch my team miserably die.
Yeah, that wasn't pretty.
So, hey, I will say this. Being a Kentucky fan is the same thing as being a Falcons fan. You just learn to lose.
There is that. No, it's great, man. Good. I'm glad you got to relax a little bit. The good news is one of your busy weekends coming up. We get to actually hang out a little bit in person instead of over video. So that's going to be a good time this weekend.
Yeah, we need to get together and at least do a 5 or 10 minute live or something. Go step outside and just shoot the crap on the Real Smoke Podcast Instagram page and do a live or something, or at least and definitely shoot a lot of photos. So,
and if you see us go live,
story for you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you see us go live anytime after about 10 or 11 p.m. this weekend, you should probably jump on because it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. We'll be in Murfreesboro at the Humidor for the final event for the TriStar Herf crew. So it's our Middle Tennessee get-together. It's our Middle Tennessee Live Herf. So we'll be out there. So if you're around Murfreesboro and you love cigars and want to hang out with us, come to the Humidor. Come say hi to us. We'll be out there hanging out, enjoying some time, enjoying some fellowship with some of our TriStar family out that way.
Yeah.
So really quickly, got an update on a story. as always, like I said last time, I try to wear a hat for the cigar we smoke. I don't own anything that's LFD, but I am sporting one of our cigar family now that's going to be on there soon. So I got a lure hat on tonight. But last week we talked about, trying to see if I could get my awesome foundation stuff and see if I could get a foundation hat, because again, I thought I had one and looked for 2 days to try to find it. It never happened. Realized I don't own one. So we put it out there to see if Nick would reach out to us and at least say something about it. I've got a lure hat, so that's the best I'll say about that one. So I don't think that it was I don't think it was taken. So oh well. I threw the bait out there. I reeled it in. No fish. So, but we did get a lure hat this week. We did have Lou from Lure send us a package, and we both got a lure hat. And he did happen to send it in orange and white. I mean, not orange and white, blue and white.
So, you want my quick serious story, and then we'll rock and roll?
Yeah, let's talk about something that you shared with me this week, and said you definitely have to share it because it's something that it gave me goosebumps when you told about it.
It gave me goosebumps when he told me, and it gave me goosebumps when I told you. So let's see how this goes tonight. So I'll try to keep this short, and I'm not going to use his name, but a guy I work with, one of his close friends committed suicide this week. It was, the week before. This was like last Monday or Tuesday, and he was really struggling, and we talk a lot, and he had gone out trick-or-treating with his kids on Wednesday night. This was like the Wednesday after, and one of the houses they stopped at had an adult table that had cigars and beer and whatever, and everybody's kind of hanging out smoking a cigar and drinking a beer and whatever. And he had a cigar. He said it was the first time he's had a cigar in years, probably. And one of the other guys that knew that we did this podcast said, "Hey, you should check out Mick and Charles podcast and whatever, blah, blah, blah." So I gave him a sticker and said, "Yeah, give it a listen sometime, man." And I'd kind of not even thought about it. He started with episode 1, where we reviewed the Las Calaveras. And he said it, and obviously, as we talked about in the podcast, that cigar was created for smoking one for remembering who you lost that year. And he said it hit him like a ton of bricks, and it felt like we were talking directly to him. And said it really touched him, and it's what he needed at that time, was to hear our podcast that day, and just to keep doing what we're doing. And we're reaching people. And then when we did that episode, we didn't even really think about it being, that deep. But apparently we're doing something right, and I'm glad we touched him and helped him get through that tough time. So honestly, cigar community is just like that. Yeah. So we're here for anyone, man, and hopefully we can touch a few more lives in the process. But we're just trying to do what we can here. So.
Yeah, that just happened to be just a backstory on the cigar we were smoking, and just like every episode, we're not trying to take it too deep, too serious, because that's not what we're on here doing. But when you told that story last night, that he just needed, he didn't realize what he needed until he realized what he needed, and he just needed to hear somebody talk about that, and the fact that he went out and then got the cigar just to smoke it, because now he realized that's not really closure, but it's comfort for what he needed. So again, I've got the hair on my arms are standing up right now, and it's it's a story that touched me greatly. So
Absolutely.
I hate to hear that he's going through that, and I feel for his buddy's family, because they're going to go through a lot of hard times right now. But
now we
all go through it different ways.
Now. Yeah, we appreciate it, man. I love you if you're listening, brother. I said you were tuning in tonight or listening at some point. So we love you, and we're here if you ever need anything, man. Just want to get together and have that smoke we talked about. Here for you anytime, man. So all right, enough seriousness. Let's move on.
Well, I'm going back into some more seriousness, because just like the cigar community is out there for, people who just need, an ear to listen, or even a hug sometimes. But the cigar community is out there for all of us. The cigar community is coming together once again. I'm going to show the slide for this one. We have our brothers over at the Cigar Army. It's another cigar club that is doing a lot of great things, and they're made up of veterans, and they are getting together with the Toys for Tots. And their flyer says, "Let's help the children have a fun holiday season. Over 20 prizes, which will include cigar accessories and swag, along with cigar donations from Protocol, Sanj Patel, Blackbird, Family by Loyalty, and many, many more will be raffled off." They're doing, as you can see on here, they're offering one ticket for 15, two for 20. They do PayPal and Venmo. Go on Instagram and check them out at Cigar Army. Again, they are putting together a raffle to help bring in money to support Toys for Tots to help kids have a better Christmas. And, with a lot of the devastations, with a lot of the hurricanes that's happened over the last couple of months, there is a lot of kids right now that is going to be struggling for a long time. And just for them to get a couple of toys that their families might not be able to get to them, that's something that's really important. And again, it's the cigar community coming together to put something together to help kids. And you cannot ask for anything better than a group of people coming together to help kids.
Couldn't have said any better, man. I know a couple of guys in TriStar were talking about the other night. It really, really means something to them and to all of us, and that's why we're sharing this and getting the news out there as well. And if you can donate $20. Put your name in a hat. If you win something, you win something. If you don't, you don't. We're giving back to those in need, which is a big part of what we try to do. So, yeah, reach in those pockets and find a 20.
One more time. 100%. One more time, posting this up on here. Go check out on Instagram at Cigar Army. Message them and find out what you need to do to be a part of it, and they will do everything they can to get you all the information that they can. So, Cigar Army, thank you very much for what you're doing. So, you ready to move into some news?
Yep, let's do some news.
All right. We are going to rock through two of these. I have two stories, and then I have some cigar industry news. So the first one is from the brand League of Fat Bastards. Come on, you have to at least giggle at that one. Come on.
It's
League of Fat Bastards.
It's a great
name. They posted a press release after the resounding success of its debut Series L earlier this year. League of Fat Bastards, known for donating 40% of its profits to men's mental health initiatives, proudly announces the launch of its second line, the Series O. The Series O is produced in Esteli by the acclaimed Fabrica de Tabacos Hoya de Nicaragua, S.A. At this time, the founder, Adam Levine, took more hands-on approach to the cigar. He spent several weeks in Nicaragua working closely with the Hoya de Nicaragua team to perfect the blend, making a significant shift from the development of the Series L, which was created remotely due to travel restrictions imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic. His commitment to being personally involved in the future of the blends signals his dedication to crafting high-quality cigars with purpose. As always, you can go on cigarpublic.com to check out the rest of it, but it's going to be a Mexican San Andres Negro Oscuro wrapper. Binders are Dominican Republic, and the fillers are Seco Condega and Visa Jalapa and Lajero from Condega. The Series O will be available in 5 vitolas, each packed with boxes of 13 at new price point. They're going to range from a 5.5 by 46 to a 6 by 60, and price range is going to go from about $11.50 a stick to $13.75 a stick. So not bad, not a bad price point. I haven't tried anything from this brand, but just reading this on here today, finding out that they give 40% of the profits to men's health initiatives, I'm 100% for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's great. No, sounds like a good
So,
blend too. So we'll check it out.
yeah, definitely. That'll be one that I start looking up probably next week sometime to see. I would like to actually try to get them on here just because we're talking about doing a couple of episodes that are talking about mental health. So it would be pretty cool to get them on here to talk about that sometime too.
Absolutely.
So the next one that we have out is Placencia to release a holiday 6-pack Robusto sampler. In a press release, Placencia Cigars, a world-leading premium tobacco grower established in 1865, announces the release of the Collection Robusto just in time for the holiday season. The Collection Robusto is a 6-cigar pack of Placencia's award-winning Robusto blends, wrapped in an elegant holiday-themed packaging, perfect for cigar aficionados this season. The Robusto collection will contain the Reserva Original Robusto, the Alma del Campo, the Alma del Fuerte, the Alma del Fuego, the Cosecha 151, and the Alma Fuerte Generacion V. It's going to retail out at $99.90. So $100 gets you 6 cigars. Not a bad price when it's considering that it is Placencia.
Yeah. They're not a cheap brand, but they're always a solid smoke. So it's always one you can grab and you know what you're getting. So yeah, I wouldn't be scared to buy that.
Excuse me. And one more. And this is one that's going to choke me up probably a little bit. So, through the club, we became friends with Enrique Cejas from Matilde Cigars. And over the last couple of years, I've stayed in touch with him and consider him a really good friend. And with me having issues with my dad and his health, he shared with me that, a couple of years ago that his dad was having a lot of issues as well. Not going to really go into what those issues were because that's family business, but he passed away. So I'm getting this information from the PCA's website. Jose Cejas, Matilde Cigars founder, passes away at 74. Jose Cejas, a cigar industry veteran and founder of Matilde Cigars, passes away at 74. Born in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, Cejas' life was marked with relentless pursuit of excellence and innovation that transformed the art of cigar making. Cejas is known for his role in Tabacalera de Garcia, the Dominican Republic's largest factory, where he spent over 30 years developing well-known blends and elevating the company's production from machine-made cigars to premium hand-rolled masterpieces. Matilde Cigars announces his passing on social media on November 6, 2024. Cejas began his career in 1974 when he joined Consolidated Cigars Corporation to establish an industrial engineering department. His early work involved tobacco sorting, selecting, and processing, which gave him a profound understanding of the craft. 4 years later, he took a pivotal role at La Campana Tabacalera in the Canary Islands, immersing himself in every stage of the cigar making process. This experience would prepare him to return to the Dominican Republic, where he took the reins at Tabacalera de Garcia and La Romana. As master blender and vice president of operations, Cejas was instrumental in shaping Tabacalera de Garcia's reputation as a premium cigar producer. His crafted blends that would become iconic under the world-renowned brands such as Montecristo, Romeo y Julieta, Vega Fana, and H. Upmann. In 2000, his skills and dedication were honored with a rare accolade, the Jose Cejas Signature Series, a blend representing his personal touch. In a company as vast as Altadis, it was a significant tribute to Cejas' mastery and influence in the industry. In 2011, Cejas retired, closing a chapter on decades of dedication to Tabacalera de Garcia. However, his love for cigars could not keep him away for long. In 2013, he founded Matilde Cigars, a family-run venture where he would mentor his son, Enrique, passing down his passion and expertise to a new generation. Matilde Cigars reflected Sayas' lifelong commitment to quality, a brand steeping in tradition and driven by innovation. Jose Sayas was more than a master blender. He was a visionary who blended tobacco with the same finesse that he used to connect with people. His dedication to the craft, the people he worked with, and his family will remain an enduring part of his legacy. Sayas leaves behind family, a company, and an industry forever changed by his life's work. Tonight, we say goodbye to Jose Sayas.
Beautifully said, man. Beautifully said.
There you go. So our two stories at the beginning was brought to you by Cigar Public. If you want to find out more about them, go check them out at cigarpublic.com or on Instagram at Cigar Public. And the last story was written by the PCA. You can find that on their website at premiumcigars.org. So thanks to them for posting that. And you can also find out all that information. Every major cigar news publication has that out today. So anyways.
Yeah, man. An industry lost another great there, man. It's I know it's a little closer to home for you, but it's just sad, man, to lose somebody like that that's made such a big difference in the industry. So,
like I told you, the first part of this episode would go a little long, and I did not want it to go long, but I think we need to introduce the cigar and introduce our guest for the evening.
Okay. I'll let you do the cigar, and I got the guest, so have at her, brother.
All righty. Really quickly, the cigar that we will be smoking tonight will be brought to you by Beard Apothecary. Beard Apothecary is a small business dedicated to the crafting of high-quality beard products made in small batches to ensure freshness and attention to detail. Proper beard care is essential for maintaining a healthy and well-groomed beard using only premium butters and oils, which are crucial. These high-quality ingredients deeply nourish the hair and skin, preventing issues like dryness, irritation, and split ends. Beard Apothecary's commitment to using only the best natural ingredients ensures that your beard will stay soft, manageable, and looking its best. Come check them out at beardapothecary.com or on Instagram at beard_apothecary. Your beard will thank you. Tonight's cigar that we are going to be smoking is the La Flor Dominicana Reserva Especial. It's got a Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, binders, and fillers from the Dominican Republic. And the size that we're smoking, I bought for $11 a piece. So that's what we're about to enjoy.
I think we need a little something upbeat here. A little something upbeat after our opener tonight.
Okay.
I think our guest will take care of that.
Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
I officially turned the reins over to you.
Let me preface this real quick because Charles usually does the interview portion, so this may be a little bit different tonight. But here we go. Introducing Mechelle Merkerson, entrepreneur, co-chair of the co-chair of women at the PCA, renowned cigar educational specialist. Since 2018, Mechelle has been a driving force in the cigar education, sharing her expertise through speaking engagements, curating pairing events, and her show, Cigars with Them. Her collaborations with lounges and brands alongside her consulting work for retailers make her a vital presence in the industry. With partnerships across cigar, winery, and spirit communities, Mechelle continues to elevate and enrich the cigar experience for enthusiasts everywhere. Everyone welcome, Mechelle Merkerson.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Good. Doing great. Yeah, we're
everybody, huh?
Yeah. Sorry, we went a little bit long in the intro there. We had a couple things to get through, but we're super excited to have you on.
Oh no, I'm super grateful. Let me tell you, I'm grateful that you guys asked me to be a guest on your show tonight. I really do appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, I think Charles is a little bit different for him. He usually knows his guests inside and out before we get on here, and he's like, man, I followed her page and whatever, but I just don't know her as well as I know most guests. So that's why he's like, the interview's on you tonight, brother. So I think we've been talking on Instagram probably about a year in the cigar industry, and maybe a year and a half or so. And I just love what you do for the cigar industry, and it's just amazing. Could you give us a little insight into how you kind of got started down this road?
Yes, I really appreciate you so much for your support, because you have been a great supporter for, like you said, for a year and a half. So I really do appreciate you as well.
Thank you.
So for those who don't know me, my name is Michelle. I'm the creator of Cigars Within. Cigars Within is a educational show that I really focus on all of the aspects of the cigar industry. So everything from doing series about wrappers or different types of filler, even little tips. I I really spend so much time trying to make sure that I have the topics that people are going to be not only interested in, but also be really educated about the cigar industry. Whether you are a smoker or not a smoker, you at least are able to learn, be educated about the cigar industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
So,
it's impossible to watch your show without learning something every single time, which is amazing. And
well,
I
that's
feel like
good.
I know
That's
a
what I
decent amount.
want.
It's amazing.
That's that. That's what I want for sure. How I started is my dad actually taught me how to smoke cigars on my 23rd birthday, which I'm super grateful that he did. I'm sure he is too, because I have really kind of blossomed and taken the cigar knowledge that he gave me and kind of built it into what I would consider to now be my empire, and I'm very grateful to do so. Along with that, I'm kind of moving into more of the student type of role and really learning everything that I could learn about cigars, whether it's books or magazines. Also being able to really like sit down with people who've been in the cigar industry for a while. So that's something that really made the difference. And so I wanted to kind of take that knowledge and say, okay, what is it that I need to do with this knowledge, right? Because on this earth, you are here for a moment and you gain knowledge while you're here, but you got to be able to give that knowledge away because you can't leave with it. So I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I felt like the Lord was leading me to start a show. And so here we are. I did talk with a couple of people that are in my council or people that really mentor me in my life, and they were on board as well. So it kind of gave me like an extra like pep in my step, knowing that people that I really confide into were super excited and knowing that this was going to be a good step for me. And so it's been 2 years, 2 years in July. So we're going into kind of that second part. So almost 2.5 years, and it has been a wonderful journey. I would say that I have enjoyed it the entire time. I've learned so much. I've met so many amazing people, and just the strides that I've been able to do just in 2 years, it's mind blowing to myself. So it's not just, oh, this is something that I, just knew that this was going to be so amazing. I really was, keeping my faith in God about what it is that I needed to do and how I needed to move from there, for sure.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, that gives us all that background. I love it. This is stories we love to hear because I know everybody gets their start somewhere, and like Charles and I started just happened when we were drinking one night and said, you know what, we should do this, and we just did. So, but I think we have a lot to learn on how to get our point across sometimes. Because after listening to your videos and your show, I'm like, man, I think I could work on my public speaking a little bit sometimes. So. It's impressive. You're always very well spoken, and just it's very well put together.
Thank you. I spend a lot of time trying to make sure that I am focused on the topic, and I get in and I get out. Our attention spans as consumers of information. We have a very short attention span, so we want to see what it is, and then that's it. We want to keep scrolling. So I hope every time that I do create an episode that the focus is, creating a topic that is going to also educate people, but entertain them and allow them to be able to share it with someone saying, now I have the confidence about this particular topic. I might not know everything about it, but at least I have somewhat of a foundation or ground with this topic.
It's phenomenal. I think you touched on it already a little bit. I have written down here that I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the Rapper series. What took you down that that road, because it's an awesome series. I truly enjoy that.
Thank you.
And what took you down that road?
Thank you. So I really enjoy spending time examining tobacco. I would say that's one of my newest hobbies that I have spent. I would say in the last year and a half, I really got into it. So I learned how to roll, know how to, not very, very much my favorite thing to do, but I wanted to be able to be as authentic as possible. So being able to learn, okay, if I'm going to roll this cigar, how many leaves does it take to make this cigar? If I'm having a conversation with somebody, I want to also be able to know, okay, this is the amount of leaves that it takes to build a cigar. This is the filler binder wrapper in its purest form, and being able to really accomplish it, right? And so as you are having conversations with people, they're going to be asking you all different types of things. So you want to be as authentic. Like, I actually know what tobacco feels like. You don't, not saying that everybody is in this predicament, but as an educator, as the industry's educator, you're looking for me to pretty much know most of it, right? Not everything, because I'm not perfect, and I have not been in the cigar industry, all my life. I've been in the cigar industry since 2018. So having the responsibility of being the cigar educator for the industry is super important to me, and I want to make sure that I am doing all of the necessary things to get to that point. So examining the tobacco, ordering it, and being able to see the different types of tobacco, whether it's, Ecuadorian or Dominican, being able to just really see the differences, see how it burns, being able to smoke one of the leaves by itself and seeing what it tastes like, actually experimenting with it so that the authenticity is common. So with the wrapper series, I really realized that I had a lot of different types of wrappers. And I said to myself, well, since I have this tobacco, this will be a great opportunity for me to go into, a series that would really focus on cigar wrappers. I also did a series on long filler and short filler, which was a couple of, I would say, probably about maybe the first year of me doing cigars with them. I did a series on short filler and long filler, and being able to demonstrate what it looks like physically for you to see. And so as I have been kind of moving into more series options, I wanted to make sure that I gave a wrapper series from a perspective of someone who is seeing it in its form. So like sometimes when you go to a cigar factory, you're seeing it as the roller is maybe, starting on one part, getting the filler together, getting the binder together, but you're not able to see what it looks like individually. Like, this is the filler in its rarest form. These are the characteristics. This is how it smells. This is how all of those pieces really make it very real for someone who is looking on social media and trying to learn, have a better, deeper understanding.
That's awesome. Charles, do you have something over there?
So, yeah. So, as you go down the wrapper series, and there's one group of people that says you're going to get most of your flavor from the wrapper, and other people say no, it's going to be more even. When it comes to smoking cigars with different wrappers, have you found a wrapper that you gravitate towards, that fits your palate more than others?
Absolutely. The one that speaks to me the most is Cameroon. I absolutely love Cameroon tobacco.
Nice.
When I did the wrapper series and included Jeremiah, it was almost like a dream come true. And it was a dream come true because I super admire Jeremiah. He's amazing. His family story is absolutely exceptional. And being able to have him be a part of the episode and give the real insight from him being a part of the family and living and breathing that his whole life, it was monumental for me. Just me in general, getting the footage, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I just was in heaven, right? And then being able to share it, it was even more of a joy because other people who may smoke Cameroon tobacco and may not actually know where it comes from. Yes, they might know that it comes from Cameroon, Africa, but they are not sure about the family that is responsible for keeping this tobacco like existing and moving and breathing, and how much work it takes to be able to get Cameroon tobacco to the factories that need it and that create these cigars that you love so much. And so for me, Cameroon has always been one of my favorites. I absolutely adore it. I find myself smoking way more Cameroon, which is how I realized that I liked it. And then so it was just kind of like, oh, well, this makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
this makes total sense. Yeah, yeah, for sure. What about y'all? What is y'all's favorite rapper?
I would probably say San Andreas.
Okay.
I
Have
love the
you
deeper,
tried,
darker Maduras.
really, have you tried Casa 1910?
I do not think I have. No.
Okay, so if you like San Andreas, you got to try Casa 1910. Phenomenal owner.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Like I love them. They're great people.
Okay.
And their cigars are really good. Actually, cigar of the week with a Casa 1910 cigar not too long ago. And it's just the story behind the Mexican Revolution, and they have a series like set for paying homage to women that were in the Revolutionary War, and just kind of that whole storyline just really puts you in place of, okay, Mexican San Andreas is important because of this reason, and you really are able to kind of gravitate more towards it because you're saying, okay, there's more to it than just I like it. So I would
Yeah.
challenge you to try that brand because they use a lot of Mexican San Andreas.
I like a challenge. I will definitely find that cigar.
Yes, for sure. And Charles, what about you?
Right now, you know, I was big into San Andreas for a while, and then just like what you were saying, that's what hit home with me. I realized that I was becoming an Ecuadorian Sumatra fan when I
Okay.
realized that every time I turned around, the cigar that I was like, I need to buy this one again, I'm realizing it's a Sumatra. So I'm enjoying the Sumatra leaf right now.
Well, that's good. That's good. Ecuadorian Sumatra is a great rapper. I enjoy it myself.
Oh yeah.
What are some of your favorite Ecuadorian Sumatra cigars?
Blackbird puts out a great Sumatra. Dissident puts out a great Sumatra. Those are two that I really enjoy right now.
Good. Yeah, I like Blackbird. They're a really great brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jonas is an amazing guy, and
He
he's
is. He's
he
so
turned me
funny.
on. He turned me on to that cigar, and oh yeah, he's a riot.
Yes.
Yeah. So could you tell us about a couple of your favorite, maybe your educational events that you've done, like live events, or most memorable experiences, like when you've been doing some of these live events? Like what's that moment where you're like, man, I love what I do. You know, it's just one of those things.
So I would say there's so many amazing moments that I've had in the last 2.5 years. One that I can say comes to mind. I won't say it's my favorite because I really have to think hard about the favorite, right? But one that I remember that comes to mind just kind of immediately. The University of Switzerland, Geneva, a student actually found me on YouTube,
Wow.
and she's doing a whole like, I mean, just thinking about it, I'm just like, it just makes you want to cry because you think as a creator, I'm sure you guys are like, oh, people watch me in the United States, or, oh, people just, they see me, right? But I had no idea that my show had reached someone in Switzerland.
That's great.
Not only that, but this young lady, she was so great. She sent me an email and she just said to me, I'm doing a whole dissertation about cigar aficionados in the American market, and there were some other aspects that she was including into the dissertation as well. And it was so interesting to me that that was the topic that she chose, right? But then she also was really clear about, I want you to speak on your experience. And I just fell in love with your content and how educational that someone who don't smoke, felt the need to just tune in. And then from there, just reaching out, she just like, oh, I just felt so like I wanted to just talk to you. And for me, it was just so amazing. Like, I was so excited because someone who doesn't smoke, one, someone who wants to smoke now because they're now educated and feel the courage to go smoke, and you're wanting to speak to me about, this is your final, like, this is your final for you getting your master's. And you're like, oh, no, I gotta have someone from America who's a cigar educator to speak to me. So we had like this hour-long conversation, and I walked through pretty much every aspect of the cigar industry, you know, touching on different notes, and showed her different humidors and different tools, and really just kind of broke it down for her. And her response was so grateful. She was very grateful, but it was also just her not knowing that it was such a big impact for me as well. So, you know, she's probably thinking like, she's like, you're probably thinking that I just came out of nowhere. And I said to her, I just am grateful that you saw my content and that it impacted you in such a way that you were able to then reach out to me, and we were able to take care of what you needed. And so, you know, it was a big deal for me. I also would say another experience that I enjoy, and not just one particular, but as a whole, I do pairing events with wineries, and I absolutely love doing that. I love doing it because I get to talk to each person. So I'm one of those people that, like, I'm very particular on, if I'm doing an event and I am, you know, doing a pairing event where I'm partnering with the winemaker and I'm the cigar educator, right? I want to make sure that I touch every single person. I want to talk to every single person that's there, because it's important that people remember how you feel. They might not remember, but they may not remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
if I can make someone feel good about themselves and about the experience that they're having in this particular environment, it really means a lot, because you never know, like, somebody could really be having a bad day and they come to your event and they're speaking to you for maybe like 2 to 3 minutes or maybe even 5 minutes, and you made them feel so great that they went and their whole mindset changed, and now they're doing something different, right? They're in a greater state because you were nice to them and you spoke to them and actually gave them your attention, even in the midst of such a big event as a pairing event. So I would say those two experiences are the ones that I enjoy. And then I would say lastly, the one that I maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, would say my favorite is when I was at PCA this past PCA, which was amazing. If you haven't been to PCA, you definitely need to go. It is an experience like no other. It's really, I would say it's like the Oscars of the cigar industry, and it's grand.
It's
Let's
on
just say
it's on
that.
our list. It's
Yes,
on our
please,
list.
We
please
just got
make sure
done
you go.
we just got done talking about it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so great. My experience with me having an interview with a really good friend of mine, Mike Stouse, and being able to talk to him. He works for Boveda. He's the OEM for Boveda. And not sure if you guys have seen the interview, but the interview is available on my YouTube channel as well. And our conversation for me was more than just, hey, I'm talking to my friend, we're having a conversation, and, you know, all is well, right? It was being able to bring what people are thinking, right, when they look at a cigar box versus how they get to that point. So a lot of people don't know that as an OEM, his role, his responsibility is to provide the humidification that goes into the cigar box before it even gets to the store, before it gets to the consumer. and to make sure that the cigars are protected. And as we know, Boveda is the leading within the cigar industry, and we all use Boveda. Boveda is amazing. And so with that being said, using the product, knowing what Boveda is for a consumer, and then knowing what it is for a manufacturer, it just blows your mind. And knowing that there are some manufacturers that still don't use a humidification system when they send cigars out. And so having the responsibility of the industry of making sure that cigars are protected, that's a special job.
It is.
That's a
He's
like super special job. Like
the gatekeeper of all good cigars. That's impressive.
Yes, absolutely. Like, so when you open a box of cigars and you see a Boveda there, you must thank him because
I'm
he
good.
is responsible. Right, exactly. Like, you know that you're great. Like, everything is gonna be fine. These cigars are gonna be good. I'm not gonna have to worry about it. You know that everything that you're getting out of that box is great, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, you can have they take a serious role because you can have a cigar maker and a blender who works tirelessly to create such an amazing flavor profile in a cigar,
Right.
but it comes to you dried out and brittle because some off-brand humidification pack was put in it. But when you see a Boveda on there, you know that cigar is taken care of.
Yes,
And
I mean, for 25 years, they've been killing it for 25 years.
Oh yeah. I know every one of my electric humidors and every one of my cooladors all have Boveda. And you'll sometimes get something that has some other pack, and I take the pack out and I might put it in something else, but there's always a Boveda in there with it because I know it's probably not going to last as long. So
right.
Great job, Boveda.
Yeah, absolutely. Big ups to Boveda.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I'm going to go a little bit off script here. So dry red wine is one of my favorite pairings with a good dark Maduro cigar.
Okay.
Charles,
have you tried Portos?
No.
You should try port wines. If you like dark red that's dry,
okay.
Ports is, and so I would say that's my new wave. So like I typically like sweet wines, but I have kind of moved towards the port. I do still enjoy sweet, right? But if I see it, that's yours. What's your flavor?
Mandarin.
Mandarin.
So
okay, I've never had that one.
Yes. If you take a dark, rich Maduro that has that chocolate profile that's a little nutty, and then you mix it with that, imagine the best chocolate-covered dipped orange that you've ever had, and that's the experience that you're going to have with that pairing.
That is quite the experience.
I have turned so many people on to that.
He has. I am one of those people, honestly. But I do enjoy a Cab Sauv or a Pinot Noir with a good dark cigar, and I've enjoyed that many times, and probably too many. But it's one of my favorite pairings. But no, that's awesome. So when you go to these wine events, is that something that most people, do they pick their own wine, or is that picked for them and then like a cigar to pair with it, or how does that work with a wine pairing? I'm just curious.
Yeah, sure. So definitely, I work with the winemaker very closely to figure out what wines are going to work with cigars. So sometimes it is a basis where I have a client that I work with a couple times every year. And so I know them and their wines, so I trust them. And I say, okay, what seasons of wines do you want to have in this particular pairing event? Send me those, send me the notes. And then I start smoking a couple of different cigars, trying to figure out which cigar is going to work with which wine, and kind of moving from there. So every winery, every brewery, every spirit company is different because I really like to try to customize the experience. So I will definitely try whatever the spirit is or wine or beer before, or cider beforehand, so that I can say, I am trying this and this is what it tastes like, and I feel like this is going to work with that. And so it works for me because most of the time when I am at these pairing events, people are just so like amazed that these flavors are rocking together the way that they are, you know?
Yep.
And so it makes me so excited because people will actually come to me and say, this worked.
Yep.
And I say to myself, wow, my job is done. Like, this is good. That means I did what I was supposed to do.
Absolutely. No, I would imagine with your knowledge in it, you put some good pairings together, and it's just amazing to hear that. I didn't know. It's rare that you hear of somebody enjoying wine and cigars. I just thought I was the weird one that enjoyed that
Oh
pairing.
no, not at all, not at all. Well, I will say too, as we are moving into this month's series, I'm doing cigar pairings. So be on the lookout for some wine because it's coming. I have a couple of different beverages that I will be pairing this month with the episodes that are coming along. Try to give obviously the history of the particular spirit or wine or beer or whatever the beverage is ahead of time, and then also incorporate what the cigar is that I paired with it. I find it to be very interesting that as I am doing this series, I revert back to the question that I had asked because I do question of the week every week. And
Yep.
I asked a question about different pairings that you guys would like to see. And so I got such great response. So I'm trying to, as we have 4 weeks in November, I'm trying to come up with the pairing options that you guys named so that I am able to, obviously incorporate your feedback that you're giving me, but also being able to find pairings that maybe I had not thought of before, So it's been a very exciting journey with these pairings.
It's amazing.
So do you have
Yeah,
going on in with pairings? I am someone who enjoys bourbon and whiskey a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see behind me, there's a few. Um,
Mm-hmm.
would you be willing to share some of your favorite pairings, whether it's alcoholic, non-alcoholic, wine, champagne, whiskey, bourbon, scotch, anything like that? A couple of your favorite pairings. I really enjoy either this cigar or this type of cigar with
Mm-hmm.
this. Give some of the listeners go like, oh goodness, I need to go try this.
Yeah, so I love ginger beer, absolutely adore it. And so there's an Australian ginger beer that I like, and I mean ginger beer in general, I like in general, but there's certain ginger beers that do me different, if that makes sense. They make me feel different. And so, it is, and then they're non-alcoholic, but it's just, it's the more the ginger, it just kind of heightens the flavor in the cigar. And I would say for me, I typically roll with the ginger beer with a more medium to full type of cigar, but one that's
All right.
not quite spicy, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So, for me, it's you have the spiciness in the ginger, but you don't want the cigar to be overpowering in spice either. So it's like a happy medium, right? So I would say like maybe a Davidoff Nicaragua. Um, that is a good
Okay.
combination because even though it's a medium to full cigar, it's not quite as spicy.
Oh yeah. It doesn't have that
At
kick.
least for me, right? Exactly. And then so like I just recently did a pairing with chai latte and the Davidoff
saw
Grand
that.
Diademas, which I love the Grand Cru Diademas. It is a great cigar. It is very mild. It is more mild than what I thought it was going to be. But it was a good combination. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Okay.
With this cigar that we're smoking right now, the LFD Reserva Especial, which is one of my top 25 cigars. Shout out to LFD. They're amazing people, Lito and Anthony, or Tony, I'm sorry. You know him as Tony, but yes, as Tony. And love them. They're amazing people. But this cigar, I really would go with more of maybe a Riesling Like I know the last time I had this cigar, I had a Riesling with it, and I enjoyed it because this cigar is a little bit of pepper. It's not too heavy on your palate, but it tells you this is good. This is going to be a good night. That's the kind of and I like to talk about cigars as though they're people, right? Because to me, they're my friends. And
Yep.
so I like to talk
I get
about it
that.
from a perspective of, these are my friends. Cigars are gentle. You want to be gentle with them, right? They're our friends. And so I would definitely say a Riesling with this cigar would be perfect. What about y'all? What are some pairings that y'all go for?
Start it off, Charles.
Well, see, you were talking about a Riesling for this. Well, so I'm on water whenever we're doing one of these because to produce this, I am pushing so many different buttons. I want to be 100%,
Coherent.
in my game when I'm doing this.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but okay, you got it.
Yes.
But tonight, where Mick is doing a lot of the work, I'm just pushing buttons. I've got some sparkling mineral water and topped
Love
off with a
sparkling
little
water.
tequila. So
Yes.
just the saltiness of the tequila, but the effervescence of the mineral water and the minerally note is pairing so good with the cigar. So I
Yes.
always do my reviews and stuff a couple of days beforehand, and I always do it with water. It is actually doing better that this is being paired with it because the mineral note as well as the salty from the tequila is actually balancing out the cigar and adding to the experience more than just smoking it plain.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, if it's a deep dark Maduro, a good orange soda. Other than that, it's usually an American whiskey or a bourbon, not a Scotch fan. So I will say I'm branching out into more of the fruitier Scotches. I do not like
Mm-hmm.
peated Scotch,
Okay.
but a good whiskey or a good rye is usually what I like to pair with. In the morning, of course, it's always coffee.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried you said something about bourbon and whiskey. Have you tried Uncle Nearest?
Oh yes, we are actually doing our next HERF in Murfreesboro. So the club is actually having some of its members go up to Uncle Nearest. But I got to go up there. I've been up there quite a few times and got to meet Edie Butler and talk to her for a little while. And she is such a
Oh, that's
sweet,
cool.
wonderful woman.
Yes.
And I'm trying to get Fawn Weaver on here next year to talk about how she got started with Uncle Nearest. But I've done a couple of articles. I write for Cigar Public for their whiskey thing, so I've done a
Mm-hmm.
few articles over Uncle Nearest and the history that they had with that, as well as the history that they had with Jack Daniels and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So Uncle Nearest is some of my favorite whiskey.
Me too. Me too. I absolutely adore Uncle Nearest. And I'm not um a whiskey connoisseur. I've kind of slid my way into the game. like I'm moving real slow. I'm not moving fast at all. And I have really enjoyed Uncle Nearest, like Uncle Nearest neat by itself, or even Uncle Nearest with lemonade. It's a great,
Right.
great option. Like the spirit is all of the Uncle Nearest brands that I've had. So they have the rye, they have the original, they have a new green one that just came out. I love
Yes.
them. They're great.
Well, see, when it comes to spirits like that, I have one of our club brothers, Mike, and if it comes to anything that's knowledge that I need knowledge on Scotch, I lean on him heavy. If it comes to tequila, I am not a tequila person, but when I'm needing some ideas, I go to Mick. So I'll extend it out to you. If you're ever doing anything that's whiskey related and you just have questions or ideas that, or you're needing some suggestions, reach out to me. I have no problem with either giving you some of the notes that I've taken with different pairings, or whether it's high end or budget or in the middle of the road. If it's American whiskey, bourbon, or single malt Scotch is really good, or single malt American whiskey is really good with cigars too. It has a really good chocolate forward multi flavor. So if there's anything I can ever do to help, feel free to reach out to me anytime.
I really appreciate you. Honestly, I'm coming up with an episode with whiskey, so I'm gonna need some assistance. So we're gonna talk offline for sure.
Reach out to me anytime. I'm always available.
Thank
He
you.
is not just because he's my partner on here. He's very well spoken in that world. So definitely reach out to him on that end of it. But no, I'm more of a I take a lot of shit for this sometimes because I'm more of a rum or tequila guy than I am
I
bourbon.
like rum and tequila too, so we good. We on the same page.
Awesome. Bourbon, I've ventured into it many times, and every time I just don't love it. Like no matter what I'm pairing it with or what I'm mixing it with, it reminds me of those bad nights when I was 19 or 20 camping in the woods, getting drunk on Jack Daniels, and I cannot get that out of my taste for some reason. And it was all bad experiences, and I'm still trying, but I haven't got there yet.
That's because you're drinking and not enjoying.
You gotta sip it. As I was told, you're supposed to kiss the glass.
I still may be doing
just
it
like
wrong.
a cigar. You have to baby it.
Yes.
You have to baby it. You have to enjoy it. You cannot hotbox it, or you're going to be having a bad night and a rough morning.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Now, so let's talk about something that I truly enjoyed on your page last year, the PCA. I know you touched on it a little bit earlier. Let's talk about a few of those moments from out there, and what you experienced. And just to follow up quickly, yes, we are planning to do it. I know we're kind of new in this game and trying out the podcast thing and just having fun with it. But we want to get out there too and kind of meet new people and get our name out and just have fun with it and meet the community out there. But tell us about your experience. I know it looked like you had a blast and just lit up the room out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really had a great time at PCA. PCA is, like I said, it is the Oscars of the cigar industry. Everybody goes to PCA. A lot of new manufacturers, a lot of new people who are in the media, podcasters, folks who are reviewers. I mean, everybody literally is there. There is so much education that is going on, which I absolutely love, because it is you being able to have those conversations, whether you are on camera or off camera, you're able to have these conversations with manufacturers and you're saying, I really smoke your cigars. I have a question because when I was smoking this cigar, XYZ, right? And you're able to actually have a conversation with them, and everybody is really friendly, which is nice because, sometimes you go into different industries or you're in different places and people are not as nice as you would think that they would be. You ever met somebody that you see maybe on TV or read a book, or maybe you know them locally, but you've seen them somewhere and then you never got to actually meet them in person. Then you met them in person and the experience might not have been as great as you would have wanted it to be. And PCA, I just feel like
they say never meet your heroes.
Experience. I will say I've met a lot of my heroes at PCA and other places that I've been, like Pro Cigar and TPE and all these other different industry events. And I have had really good experiences with people, and I am grateful for that, because being able to be received in a way that is not only professional, but people respect that, they respect your craft. And so the respect level is, you do XYZ for the industry. Some people will say you're an educator for the industry, or you are a light for the industry. You are a friend in the industry. There are all different types of titles and hats that I have played when it comes to people describing what I do for them or what they have seen me do in the industry. And so it really is a joyous time. While I was at PCA this past year, I had the opportunity to do the interview that I mentioned earlier, which was amazing. And I always do one big interview during PCA, and I kind of reserve that time for an interview just because I'm not an interviewer. That's not really my ministry. And so I try to stay in my lane. I stay right in my lane and do the educational episodes and really have the opportunity to provide information and content for you that you can revert back to, and you are able to get something. Like it might be 90 seconds and it's a little quick for you, but you got something. You learned something. You were able to share it with somebody. The short form content is kind of my niche, and I stick with that. And I really commend folks who do interviews, because it is a lot of work. It's also a lot of preparation and being able to do a lot of research and all of those things. And I do a lot of research with me just doing my educational episodes. So I can only imagine getting ready for an interview. Even the one interview that I typically do during PCA, it is a lot. And I really take it seriously. Like, I plan a whole 6 months to 8 months in advance for the interview that I'm going to do, because I know exactly what it is, what it is that I'm going to be discussing, but also who I'm going to be speaking with in most cases, right? And so from there, I also had the opportunity to speak with Homo Latino, and they did a magazine feature on me in April. And then I was able to then, from that relationship that I kind of built from social media and then meeting them in person, then turned around in October and they did a 6-page spread. So that, for me was amazing, because, if I hadn't gone to PCA, right, I wouldn't have been able to meet them in person and be featured in the magazine in April, and then turn around in October, have a 6-page spread. I am so grateful. Because that's just not something that I even thought that was going to be possible. As I'm working trying to do everything that I'm doing in excellence, and I am running the race with my blinders on in some cases, right? Just because I don't want to overwhelm myself or lose focus. And so being in a space where someone is seeing you and appreciating and respecting what you're doing and wants to do a feature on you, it is such a joy and a blessing to be able to have that as an accomplishment. Also during PCA, I was able to meet a lot of legends and awesome. See legends that I already know again. And Lito had his 70th birthday party during the time of PCA, so I was able to attend that, which was amazing. It was just so good. Like, there were so many great moments of PCA. I can't even speak, but I will say one that was probably another great experience, like somewhat I would say ultimate for me, is that PCA selected me to be the panelist moderator for a discussion that they had for cigar and tobacco retailers. And I was able to moderate the panel discussion as well as be a part of the panel, which I'm so grateful for. And then I launched my digital content planner. And so it was just so many moments, because thinking like the PCA asked me to be a moderator for their panel discussion on social media and marketing, and being able to give my insight as well as have the wonderful ladies that were speaking on the panel, being able to just kind of moderate the conversation, and all of us blended very well together. And it was a great success. And then to sum it up with, releasing my digital content planner, I really believe in it. I use it myself, and being able to know that as a content creator, planning your content is everything. It is literally everything. If you're not planning, I don't know how you're making it. Like, because planning is so important. Yes. And I have about 4 calendars myself. 2 books calendars, one on my computer, which also goes to my phone, and then I have a big one that's on the wall. So I have about 4 to 5 calendars, depending on what's what in a long to-do list.
I am the exact same way at work. I have like 4 calendars, and I have to reference all of them to make sure shit's not overlapping. It kind of drives me nuts, but it's the way my mind works. And so absolutely. You are leading me right along into my next question. This is one of my last questions. So tell us about the content planner. I know you have a paper version, and now you have a digital version. Is that correct?
Yes. So I have the paper version for myself. You can find the digital version on my website. You can also print that out. And that way if you're working with a team of people or you're just working by yourself as a retailer or a cigar professional, you're able to print off the sheets that you need and build a book. And what makes it so, I would say, so easy is because I am speaking from a perspective of me using it myself. Like, it's sometimes people have products that they don't use themselves, and that's them. That's cool. But for me, I'm using this myself. And so I'm seeing, okay, this is important. I'm looking in the middle of the content planner. I'm seeing, oh, there's some industry dates coming up that I need to make sure that I have on my calendar. These are days that I need to start incorporating into my content as I'm planning content out. What is National Cigar Day? When is Boutique Cigar Day? All of these different things. I'm planning those things out because they're in my content planner. And as I'm doing the series, I have all of the series listed out. And then in the back of it, there's audit sheets for you to be able to see kind of how you have grown over time with your analytics, which is super important when you're working with different cigar brands or manufacturers, or even when you're working with brands outside of the cigar industry. They kind of want to see what your analytics are. For me, I have about 30,000 impressions each month. That's about my normal average. So, give or take a few every month. It's, obviously different, but for the most part, I ride around the 30,000 impressions, which is great, but I need to be able to know that that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So it's having that information and actually being able to speak to it. Hey, this is exactly what it is. Makes a difference.
It's amazing. Charles, I saw we had some comments coming through before we get into hot box questions and maybe some tail end questions here. What do we got on comments?
We just had a couple people say, "What's up, fellas?" from Dirty Box Pipes and Cigars. Well, our guest happened to say hello, and got a hello back. Got blessings from Hartley. Got a big heart. Somebody loves it. Jordan is just saying he just jumped in ladies on his way home. He's listening. He's going to listen to it on replay. And he also said, Smoke is speaking the truth. And then we just got a couple of people on Instagram just jumping on and saying hi and stuff like that. So not too many comments tonight. We do have quite a few people that's been watching. So I think everybody's just listening to the content. I did want to say something on your content planner. I 100% understand that. And Mick will testify to it that usually right after the herf's over or the podcast is over, I turn everything over to my work table that's behind me or in front of me. Mm-hmm. And he will just start getting image after image after image after image. That is either the score that was related to the cigar that we were smoking, the next image that's going to go up that's going to talk about the episode, or the next episode that's going to go up. So it's one of the things that I was just working on today was, we probably need to plan when, it's the same 6 images. It's just got new updated information. So we probably need to plan when each one of those come out, as well as I always post, a couple of times, the week after, the highlight videos from each episode. So, that content planner sounds like it's the put together version of the rough draft that I already have. So
yeah.
I like that idea.
Good that you have
that's
something.
awesome.
Yeah, no, and it's good that you have something, because I feel like too, as a content creator, it is a big responsibility, and being able to provide content for someone consistently also challenges you to maybe a height that you didn't think that you could get to. Like, I have been doing my own show every single Monday since July of 22.
Wow.
Nice.
So just thinking about, like, I've surpassed 100 episodes. We're slowly creeping up on 150. Like, getting to the point where you're able to. Thank you so much. Thank you. Getting to the point where you can see, wow, I really can be this consistent. I really can do this. This is something
It's
that
amazing.
I never thought about, but I can actually do this. So it is quite a joy to be able to have the responsibility as a content creator, but planning is the way to be even more successful.
Awesome.
Well, see,
That
that's
is so.
I work off of many different calendars. My wife keeps one on her phone that's connected with mine that is all of the family stuff. I keep
Mm-hmm.
one personally on my phone for all of my business stuff. I hate
Mm-hmm.
electronic stuff, so I keep a pocket calendar in my pocket of my jeans that has everything that is our cigar club as well as the podcast, and it has
Mm-hmm.
everything written in there. So the moment somebody says, "Hey, let's talk about what's going on," I have a calendar that's about so big that I pull out of my jeans pocket and just start flipping through, and they're looking at me like, why do you have that? Because it
It works for
works.
you.
It is so
Mm-hmm.
good, it works. So, and then just like I was showing earlier, this is literally the format of the show, and
Mm-hmm.
I will send it to Mick, the day of the show, saying, okay, this is what's going on. It has the time frames, it has the segment spots, the sponsor spots, has everything on it. And that's my
Mm-hmm.
OCD brain, because if it's not written out, I can't follow.
Same. You are preaching to the choir.
Yeah, mine's a little bit more scattered, but I'm the exact same way. I have to write it down. I'd rather have a paper copy in front of me. That's how I
Right.
do it, especially for. So, you ready for a couple hot box questions before we wrap it up with you for the night?
Sure.
All right.
All righty. Really quickly, before we get into hot box questions, we do have to talk about our person on here. Let's see, where is it? I wasn't ready for you to go into that, but thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Today, hot box questions are brought to you by Lure Cigars. They will be on with us here in a couple of weeks, but Lure Cigars is one of the cigar brands that we have not only fell in love with the cigars, but we have fell in love with the owner as well. He is such a great guy. You can find them at Lure Cigars on Instagram or online at lurecigars.com. Some of the cigars that you can be looking for is the Big Lou, a 6x52 Corojo, the Mean Gene, a 6x52 Habano, the Last Call, a Connecticut Broadleaf, and the one that we're going to be smoking on the show with him is the Catch and Release Brown E Trout. So if you wanted to go check out Lure Cigars, I desperately invite you to go and research them and at least give them a try. But thank you to Lou for sending us some nice cigars, and I got a hat, so I'm stoked about that. I'm a big hat person, so the fact that he was able to send me a hat and it's blue and white for the Cats, go Cats.
I will say that brownie trout has become my new obsession. That's one of my favorite cigars of this year so far. I truly love that cigar. So, all right, now that you're kind of ready,
so let's
Charles,
jump into some hot box questions. Let's do it.
My start?
Yeah, boy.
All right. Favorite sports team?
Okay, so I'm a Lakers fan.
And you can say you don't watch sports.
No, I watch sports for sure.
Nice.
I am not as engaged as I was when I was younger, but I'm still in where I need to be at. Let's just say that. So I am from Florida, so Buccaneers fan always. That's literally the only team that we recognize. People can fight me about it, but that's what it is. So Buccaneers fan, NFL. For college football, it is Alabama. I lived in Alabama for about 7 years, so Nick Saban has a place in my heart always, even though he's not the coach there anymore. And love Alabama. Roll Tide. Right, he should be. Right. And basketball and NBA, I like the Lakers. Always been the Lakers fan.
Okay.
Watching basketball,
you have
those
to
are my
admit,
3 teams.
You have to admit, Saban cries every night when he watches Kalen DeBoer coach.
Oh, I know he does. I know he does. I know he is feeling some type of way for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But he has turned into a new Nick Saban ever since he got his announcing job. To see him jump on there and wear a mascot outfit, oh come on! Who would have ever thought
different.
that Saban would have done that?
He's chilling. He is in
All right.
his prime of time of chilling. He needs to. All the work he's done.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I'm all good with that. Okay, so my first one, favorite cuss word.
You know, we're gonna keep it clean.
That'll work. I'm good with that.
We're gonna keep it clean. We're gonna keep it clean. Next question.
All
I was
right.
about to say you could say poop. My main job is I deal with kids all day. Poop is my favorite one to use. Poop.
Let me say, I will say fudge.
All right.
There
We
you
will
go.
take it.
Or sweet.
That's even
or
too
sweet
dirty for what I
Jesus.
have to use.
Right. Or sweet Jesus,
No.
right?
No, no. When it comes to that, I use "you need Jesus" a lot.
That's a true statement.
It definitely is. Aisle seat or window seat?
Window seat. I'm a content creator. I'm trying to see the window. I'm trying to see what's going on.
I assumed that was your answer.
All right. So favorite joke, and you can take some time with it. Everybody usually says, "Okay, it's a long joke." Favorite joke. It could be a dad joke. It doesn't matter. A mom joke.
Honest, I don't even know that I have a favorite joke. I've never been asked that question before. I really haven't, and I'm not.
And
even
that's
trying
why
to be
we have
funny,
it.
But I just, you know, favorite joke. I just don't know. Like, I'm a jokester, right? But like my jokes just like kind of come like immediately. You know, it's not something I'm just holding in the back of my head. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
What is y'all's favorite
Oh, it's all
joke?
good.
Oh, you probably don't want to hear mine, and Charles's is pretty clean, but mine's a little questionable. Yeah.
Okay, well let's keep it clean for the people at home.
I've already said my joke. You probably don't want to hear my joke. I've already said it many times.
Next question then.
All right. Is cereal a soup?
I would say no, because I don't let my cereal get soggy. So I would say no.
Okay.
All right. So if you could switch lives with any fictional character, who would it be and why?
Any fictional character. I would say, if I had to really think about it, maybe Bill Nye the Science Guy. I know that that's not like super fictional because, you know, like,
But he plays a
not
character.
cartoon, but he plays a character. And I really like Bill Nye the Science Guy because he teaches everybody. Like, no matter what age you're in, like wherever you fall on the spectrum as far as your knowledge about science, he entertains you.
Oh, you're reaching me as I was a kid. Yeah.
Right, me too. Like you're reaching all walks of life. You're reaching just everybody. And I love the fact that he's an educator. So I would say Bill Nye if I had to think. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Cool.
I love how much thought you put into that. That is beautiful. I love it. All right, so this kind of ties into it. What superpower would you want and why?
I would say the superpower that I would like to have is probably being able to know what's going to happen beforehand. And I would say that not as a, you know, I'm trying to interfere with, you know, the way the world is from I'm going to stop every bad thing from happening. But I think sometimes, even as a friend or a cousin or an auntie, you want to be able to give people the most sound advice for them to be able to make the best decisions.
Yep.
So I think if you are able to know what's going to happen beforehand, then you can prepare the person. Maybe you can't stop them from having the experience, but you can at least pour into their life and give them life and a conversation that could potentially save their life. So I would say that if I had to choose superpower, it would definitely be being able to know the things that are going to happen before they happen.
Well,
Oh yeah, love that.
Yeah.
So I think I have the last two. What is a special skill or talent that you have that most people don't know about?
Oh, well, that's good. So this is funny because I'm not gonna do this, by the way, but I'm going to answer the question. So probably a special talent that people don't know that I have is that I actually do know how to sing. And I went to school, my very first degree was on a choir scholarship. And so I went to school for singing for 3 years. And so I have the ability to sing, but I will not be singing on the podcast tonight. But I am grateful
It's
that I
awesome
have the
to
ability.
it's
future
awesome to
episode.
see another choir kid. So
Yes. And I love the fact that I had the experience because, you know, I am not an Aretha Franklin or a Jennifer Hudson, but I have had the ability to sing well enough to get a scholarship. So that I'm grateful for.
nice.
And the time that I spent in choir was so monumental for my life. I actually had the opportunity a couple of weeks ago to see my choir director from college for the first time since like 2016. And I was very grateful to have that moment because she really helped me out, you know, growing up and just really being my first years in college and being able to understand life from a different perspective and live in a different state and be in a place that I've never been in before. So I really appreciate the skills that I learned while I was in choir for sure.
Yeah, I completely get that. I grew up most of my elementary school days, excuse me, were in a private Christian school, and I was in
Hmm.
choir for a long time. So I grew up
Yeah.
in church and in choir, and it's nice to meet a choir kid. So
Yes.
my
And
last
I was
question,
a choir
the
kid
last
in college
question.
too. College
Oh,
and
really?
in
What
church.
college?
Yeah. So I went to Bishop State in Alabama.
Okay,
And so in
nice.
college I was in the choir. I was in the choir in all of the church for most of the churches growing up that I was at. I was in the choir as well. So yes, we're on the same page.
So my last question is my favorite question, and I put it on here because I ask this all the time, and it kind of means something to me. So, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
Hmm. I would say the best piece of advice I've ever received is that you are unlike any other. And what you bring to the world is a requirement for being. I'm trying to figure out how I can say this because I want to say it the way the person gave it to me. Okay, so the gist of the conversation, let's start with the conversation. So the gist of the conversation was I was having a moment where I just was feeling like, okay, how am I going to do everything that I need to do? How am I going to be in this space? How am I going to do this new venture? How is all of this going to move, right? And so I was a little weary. And you know, they always say like if you're going to pray, you can't worry. Like you can't worry and pray. You gotta do like you really need to pray and then
Amen.
like release it, right? You can't do that. So the person was just saying to me that like you are you for a reason. And you cannot allow other things or other people to knock you off of where you are. Not only that, but what you are giving to the world is unlike any other. So it cannot be you are doing what other people are doing because you're different. You're supposed to be the way you are and operate the way that you are on purpose. You are
Love it.
made for a purpose. So you can't do things that other people do. And I will say this, in my lifetime, I have experienced doing things that other people do, and every time it always results in a bad thing. And so I have to say to myself sometimes, people will say, well, how come you don't do XYZ? And how come you don't do XYZ? And I say to them, because I can't do things that everybody does. I was made for a purpose. In that purpose, I have to be able to move in that purpose, right? So I would say the best piece of advice is you can't do things like everybody else does because you were made for a specific purpose. Bravo. So that's the best piece of advice. Because I didn't realize it until the person said it. And then I started trying to do things that other people were doing. And it was like, See, God was like, see, you think that you was just here by accident. Let me go and show you that you were here by accident. Keep playing with me.
Hey, my Mimi used to say it best. God has a plan. Don't interrupt it.
Okay, don't try to orchestrate nothing because he got it already set out.
Yeah. He's already got it planned out and journaled, and there's nothing that you can do to interrupt it. So don't try.
Exactly, for sure. That is so true. Your Mimi was on point with that.
Yes, she was.
So I guess
ladies
I'm going to pull a line.
That really quickly, that was our hot box questions sponsored by Lure Cigars. So go check out Lure Cigars.
Yes, thank you, Lou. We appreciate you. So I'm going to steal this line from Charles. Where do you see yourself in the industry in the years to come? Like what's in the future for Cigars with Them?
The future is so bright. Let's just start there. The future is bright. And I am looking forward to how many more people that I have the opportunity to bless with my show. Yep. And I think as I am moving even more into doing more episodes, the impact becomes greater. It's almost like a snowball effect. And the snowball is just growing and growing and growing. And I don't take that responsibility lightly. So in the future, I look forward to seeing how many more people will be blessed from my episodes. But also, I look forward to seeing how I'm able to kind of take this show and move it to an even bigger platform. What that platform is, I have no idea. But there is so much more that can spring up out of this, right? And I look forward to doing more pairing events and collaborating with people from all over the world to be able to provide cigar education, as well as continue to be an advocate for the cigar industry. Because as we know, the FDA is a real organization that does not like what we do. No matter how much good we bring to the world, there's still a side that thinks that it's not necessary. So I want to continue to be an advocate, continue to use the gifts that I have to be a light in the industry and bless as many people as I can. I mean, because honestly, being a blessing is way more important to me than, accolades or recognition. Being able to mentor people, I have a heart for mentoring. I have 7 babies, as I say. I am a mother of many because I have the opportunity to mentor 7 different individuals currently, like in this current day. And they all have different places in which they are in life and different age groups. And having the opportunity to mentor is something that I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to do, but also know that it is necessary in every area of my life and even in the cigar industry. So hoping that I'm able to just continue to bless folks. Like, you be a blessing and you are blessed. So it's great.
I will say this, and then I'll let Charles put a little bow on it for the night. So I always have had a soft spot for females in any industry because I coach girls soccer. I have 2 girls of my own. I've always had this and trust me, you don't need me saying this, but honestly, you've always been a blessing to us and to me. I enjoy your videos. I enjoy your videos every time they come across my feed. That's why I became a fan, and I'm just happy to call you a friend at this point. And I just want to see continued success for you, and anything you need from us along the way, we appreciate it. And we're just blessed to have you on tonight. You're just an amazing, amazing person, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
I really appreciate your kind words. That means a lot. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up the interview portion, we want to say thank you for being a blessing to our show. I know that you're wanting to reach out and seeing how many different people you can bless by being and helping them. We want to thank you for blessing our show and being on here and being a part of what we are trying to get started. So before we let you go, please take the floor. It's all you. Let everybody know how they can find you, every bit of your social media, what you've got coming up, anything that you want anybody to know before you leave tonight.
I do want to say thank you so much to both of you for having me on your show. I really do appreciate your time as well, and it's been a joy. And I'm so grateful, grateful for sure. My Instagram is Moments with Michelle, and it is Michelle with 2 E's, not M-I, it's M-E. And on TikTok, it is moments.with.michelle. And on YouTube, it's Cigars with M if you're searching via channel. I also am on Facebook, Cigars with M, Twitter, LinkedIn, like I'm everywhere. But I will say something I do have coming up is the Art of Fuma Education is a virtual Fuma education event that I have going on. It is going to be amazing. I had the opportunity to partner with Aganorsa Leaf, and it is going to be a cigar blending process kind of Zoom event, which is great because you're going to also, once you purchase your ticket, then you'll be able to receive a box that will have all of the items that you need to participate, as well as some additional goodies in there. So it is well worth your while. And it's going to be on November 20th. So if you haven't already purchased your tickets, definitely do so. And I always am looking for feedback on the episodes as well as content, always trying to make sure that, you know, the content is appealing and is able to touch the masses. So if you have any ideas or any feedback that you want to give, please definitely reach out via DM or email, which is also in my bio and Instagram. So I really appreciate you guys so much. And thank you so much for just what you guys do. The podcast is great, and you guys do a wonderful job. So thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Charles always gets nervous when I say this, but we are doing a Women's Month coming up, and if you'd
That's
like to be
great.
a small part of it, let us know. We'll
Yeah,
be
I
in touch.
would. Absolutely. Please do. Please put me in the list. I'd be more than happy.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of this, and I really do appreciate it. It's not very often I get to sit back and enjoy the interview, and I absolutely enjoyed learning about you. So thank you so much for jumping on and taking the time with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Well, that was a fantastic interview, sir. Good job.
Thank you. I was I don't know how you do it, honestly. I now have not nearly as many notes on my cigar. It was a lot going on there, but I think I did all right. So thank you. I appreciate it.
You'll do fine. So I think we've got about 10 or 15 minutes left on here. Let's go ahead and jump into the cigar review. As always, now you see why I smoke two. I smoke one
Yep.
ahead of time. I do the review and I do this one. So real quickly, while you go ahead and finish up that, I'm going to say that the cigar review for me was interesting. I do think that pairing it with what she said, like the the sparkling mineral water was a great choice to pair it with. I enjoyed the cigar a whole lot more with that than I did just plain. So whenever you are ready, you can go ahead and give your review.
You're going to start me up again. All right. So
I'm going to put you first from here on out. So go for it.
Killing me. Then I can't even steal your score because I was too busy talking to our guest. So pre-light, I got toast, hay, raisin, a little bit of maybe floral soap on the cold draw. First third, I got baking chocolate, leather, toast, and a little bit of black pepper. Second third, sweet cedar started kicking in. Nutmeg, toast, a little black pepper. Final third, which I think I enjoyed the most because it got a little bit stronger. Definitely went to more of a full towards the end, medium full to the end. I got cedar, nutmeg, baking spices, black pepper, maybe a touch of coffee. So pre-light experience, we got a 13 out of 15. Flavor, we got a 21 out of 25. Smoking characteristics, I got a 24 out of 25. The draw was great. The burn was great. Smoke production was great the whole way through. Overall impression, I got a 26 out of 35. So my total is a 84.
84.
84. A little lower than normal.
Cool.
I think it was a little light on the front for me, but it was as it went, it got a little better for me. A lot more of that black pepper. The flavor started hitting home a little more. The construction was immaculate. It was amazing. So overall, a good smoke. I'd smoke it again. It definitely wasn't as strong as what I'm used to.
Okay. So as everybody knows, mine's a little crazy detailed in story mode, but I'll try to burn through it, no pun intended, as best as I can. So on the body, I got barnyard, a funky tobacco, and a little bit of manure. On the foot, slight fruit, sweet tobacco, and a little bit musty. The cold draw had a loose draw. This one I smoked tonight had a loose draw as well. I got plums, raisins, and a sweet tobacco. First third, on the light, cedar, hay, sweet tobacco. Retro is earth, finished with a slight sweetness. Into the first, coffee, earth, hay, and a slight nutty up front, followed by a vanilla sweetness and a slight mineral note. The retro brings earth, mineral, followed by a sweet cream and a cinnamon spice on the retro. The draw is loose. Burn gets a little wavy, but tends to correct itself. Ash is dark and flaky. Smoke is okay. Needs a little bit more for my liking. Medium body, medium strength, short to medium finish. Second, third, into the second. Notes up front are coffee, hay, almond, and a slight honey sweetness, followed by an earthy mineral note. Retro is almond, earth, a slight cedar, cinnamon spice with a hint of sweet cream. Ash holds all the way into the second, but still dark and flaky. Smoke output is a little bit better. Burn is still the same, slightly wavy, but still catches up. Strength is medium plus. Body is about the same, medium finish. Final third. Into the final, notes up front are a slight oak, dark black coffee, earth, mineral, followed by a black pepper. Retro is mineral, charred oak, and a little coffee. Black pepper on the sinus. Burn is a little crazy, needed a slight touch up. Ash is still the same, medium plus body, slightly fuller in strength, draws loose. Smoke output is a little thin. So on the construction, I gave it a 17 out of 20. The draw, a 13 out of 15. The burn, a 13 out of 15. Flavor complexity, an 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyability, a 17 out of 20. Smoke output, a 4 out of 5. Overall experience, a 4 out of 5. Minus on the strength, medium plus on the body, an 86. So we weren't too far off.
We were
so if
close.
You take the two scores, add them up, and average them out, this cigar gets an 85.
Very nice. Definitely closer than I thought we were going to be. I know I've said this like 3 podcasts in a row. I have started buying 2 every time, but I still am yet to smoke mine in advance like you do. And the more this goes, the more I realize I need to adopt your way of doing it.
So you gave it an 84, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, 84 for you, 86 for me, and 85 is the average. So not a bad cigar. Would I buy it again? Yeah, I would. This would probably be a coffee cigar for me. This would probably be something I'd smoke in the morning. It didn't
too.
have it didn't have a kick in the butt like I would enjoy in the evening. But I did smoke it in the morning, and it was pretty decent for that. So I enjoyed it. Great job to the factory who made that one. I loved it.
Yeah, same for me. I would absolutely pair that with coffee or a Bloody Mary in the morning. So that was kind of my thought the whole way through. It was a solid smoke. It just wasn't what I look for usually for like an evening cigar.
I get that. So let's close things out. You have Meanwhile in Memphis going?
Yes, sir. So
All
I'm
right,
going to preface this.
Hit us with some fun.
I'm going to preface this also with I wrote this down because I forgot to print it at work today. So the headline was Memphis crime spree Friday night, car stolen, guns involved. That was the headline. A 12-year-old is among 5 teens arrested with a string of crimes on Friday night. A woman was boxed in her car by 2 cars. She put it in reverse, whipped it through a yard, and took off as they shot at me, it was her statement. One victim said, the city is almost now unlivable. There were 5 others that said they found themselves at the wrong end of a gun barrel as they were robbed on Friday night. All 5 teens were chased in a stolen black Kia Soul before eventually running off and being caught. You ready for these ages?
Wow.
No. 3 girls that were 12, 13, and 14, and 2 boys that were 14 and 16.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So all night Friday, it started around 7 p.m. and it ended about 1 or 2 in the morning on Saturday. And 5 of them, yeah, none of them over 16. It just fucking mind blowing.
Dang.
Yeah.
Welcome
So that leads
to
me
Memphis.
So that leads me to my second story. So I didn't even print anything off for this one, so I'm just gonna wing this. So I went to vote on Friday, not bringing politics in, on Tuesday, whatever day that was. Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't even know. Anyway,
How many times did you vote?
17. I mean 1.
Okay. Okay.
But
Gotcha.
went to vote on Tuesday, and on the ballot was like 3 extra things that you could check yes, no, whatever if you vote in favor of. It was you are not allowed to have a handgun on you in the city limits of Memphis unless you are law enforcement. So I of course checked the no box because I'm like, if criminals have it, in Tennessee is a carry state. Like,
Yeah.
why should you not be able to carry and protect yourself? The next one was, should you be able to own AK-47s or assault style rifles within the city limits of Memphis? Again, why should they be in your business if you are not out committing crimes with them? So after all of this was done, it came across the local news that the city of Memphis was not allowed to put that in a ballot because it cannot override the Tennessee state laws. So they went ahead and put that on the ballot without even asking. So I just kind of found that amusing that they were trying to take guns away from lawful gun owners when they cannot take care of the issues that are happening with people that are definitely not lawful gun owners. So that was kind of my my follow up to that. It was interesting.
Let's give the population a way to not defend themselves against people who are going to be able to do shit illegally.
Yeah.
Don't let us
100%.
be able to protect ourselves legally.
Yeah. Yeah. I found that very interesting that was actually even on the ballot and why it was on the ballot. But it was kind of funny that they didn't even have permission to have that on there when it came out at the end of the day. So definitely some strange stuff. But yeah, man.
Meanwhile in Memphis. Dang. Yeah. You
Yeah.
got to love that. That's absolutely insane. I'm glad we didn't have anything like that, because in this area, it would have been 100%. No, there would have been that one Karen that was like, no, I don't want that.
Exactly. Yeah. And the teenage stuff, man, it just, it's scary times. It's a lot of parenting going wrong right there. But again, that's probably for another episode.
That might be for the family herf.
It might be. But, so what do you think, man? Good guest tonight. You enjoyed the evening?
That was an awesome guest. Yeah, great job. I mean, you did a great job on the interview itself, but just the knowledge and getting to know, the guest as well as we did, it's something I'm definitely going to be checking out more of. So I'm stoked that you had her on. So, she was
just
an
a
awesome
wealth
guest.
of knowledge.
Loved learning
She
about
makes
her.
me.
Oh yeah.
She makes me feel at times like I don't know anything about the cigar industry, and that's why I keep going back to her page. She's just such an amazing wealth of knowledge, and I was so excited to have her on and actually kind of get her to give some insight into her life and how things got started. So it was a good night. I appreciate it, man.
Well, next week we have next Thursday we have Chantel with Belladama Cigars coming up, and we're going to be smoking the Ace and reviewing the Ace. They just changed factories and got a whole new blend going together, and we just got our care packages in today. So next week we will be talking with Chantel about her blend or her brand and how she got started. So make sure that you join us 8:00 Eastern next Thursday for Belladama Cigars.
Yes, thank you, Belladonna. We're looking forward to having you on, Chantel. It's gonna be a good night.
Awesome. Anything else you want to ask before I close this out?
Man, I think I'm good. I appreciate it, brother. And I apologize for not smoking a cigar in advance because and making fun of you for not drinking with me on Thursday nights, because there's a lot going on when you're trying to do three things at once. But I made it through, and I'll give you a little more credit next time.
Well, everybody, want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. We had an awesome guest on, so make sure you check out all of her information. You can follow us on Instagram at RealSmokePod. Subscribe to us on YouTube at RealSmokePod, and listen to us on Spotify at Real Smoke Podcast. Special thanks to all of our sponsors tonight. We had news from Cigar Public. You can find them at cigarpublic.com and on Instagram at Cigar Public. Beard Apothecary at beardapothecary.com or on Instagram at beard_apothecary. And TriStar Herf Crew Cigar Club. You can look at us up at tristarherfcrew.com or on Instagram at TriStar Herf Crew. Want to thank the PCA for their post on the passing of Matilde's founder. We got that information from the PCA website. And our not an official sponsor, but somebody who has taken care of us and has become a good friend of ours. Want to thank Lure Cigars. You can find them at Lure Cigars on Instagram or online at lurecigars.com. So want to thank everybody for jumping on here and joining us tonight. We had a blast. I know I had a blast. Make sure that you subscribe and follow us on everything. Leave comments. We would love to hear good or bad comments. Tell us what we're doing good. Tell us what we're doing bad. Tell us if you love us, and definitely tell us if you hate us. Either way, just tell us. So we look forward to see you guys next week with Chantel with Belladama Cigars. But until next week, Mick, have a great rest of the week.
You too, brother. Much love, fam. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week. Thanks so much.
Mick and Charles with the firelight glow, cigars in hand, watch the embers slow. Talking life and whiskey, it's a show. Real smoke.